recording. And we are live. Good morning and happy Sunday, America. Happy birthday. Happy 247th birthday this week.
Yeah. I went to Mount Vernon last week when I was in Maryland.
Ooh, how's that?
It was hot as fucking hell.
Yeah.
I was sweating. Oh my God, I was so like, when they say it's the swamp. I mean, I've been to DC in like late July before, and it was hot then, and it was hot when I went to Mount Vernon.
Yeah, I did DC 2 years ago for a summer vacation. Here's the thing. It's summer. I mean, once it gets like, unless you're above 100 degrees, once you're sweating, and if you're in like, one of those moisture wicking shirts and, shorts, throw on some sunblock, carry a bottle of water. It's all like, unless you're like running and doing exercise, you just deal with it. Splash some cold water on your head. It's not too bad.
Yeah,
I love the heat. It's finally hot here in
I know.
Massachusetts. June sucked. It was awful.
Yeah.
May was probably just as bad. It's times like this where I like, why do I live here? And but I like the heat. I like the hot weather. I guess New England's not the place for the hot weather all the time, but you'd think by July the weather would get good. And
Yeah.
now we're here. We're in the midst of summer, and as Comfortably Smug says, it's time to let go of summer, and it's dead and gone. Move on to fall.
I know I already bought a pair of boots for this fall, and I got them on sale, so
I've discovered my fashion needs are way different than they used to be, and I have to
like what?
So I mean, back in the day, before COVID, when you had to go to an office, I had to keep a steady wardrobe of like suits and dress pants and dress shirts. Now it's like mostly dress shirts and nice, like not decor. What am I trying to say?
The dress code.
The dress code of an office, it varies dramatically depending on where you work. But even in like nicer offices now, it's like nice dress shirt, nice pair of jeans, shoes, or in some cases like cool stylish sneakers. So I don't need to own that many suits and dress pants anymore. So
you would say it's gotten more casual.
More casual, but like smart casual, like stylish casual.
Yeah.
So anyway, enough about that. I may have some thoughts on fashion as we get into the topic of our episode today. It's a bittersweet episode. It's a constructive episode.
Yes, very.
This episode is designed to help, not hurt. It is designed to fix things while they can be fixed before things start to happen that can't be fixed. As you all know, Caitlin and I are big fans of Governor Ron DeSantis and would like him to be the next president of the United States.
Very much so.
We are both seeing, I certainly have seen some things, Caitlin's seeing others, and we maybe have different things that we're seeing that are preventing that from happening as well, as successfully as we'd want them to be. A few weeks ago, I'm going to show on screen. Where is it? DeSantis War Room on June 30th. Now, I'm going to show this on screen, and there's nothing really much to get into here. They tweeted out a video. I should say this. DeSantis War Room tweeted out a video. And it was, to wrap up, quotes, Pride Month, let's hear from the politician who did more than any other Republican to celebrate it. And the video that was originally up, I click on it, on the link, and something went wrong. This page doesn't exist. Try searching for something else. All right, Caitlin, that's where I'd like to start that video originally. So it was 9 days ago. What were your thoughts on that? Because I quote tweeted it, and
I actually never really watched the video because I didn't care.
okay.
So I want to straightforwardly say that I never watched the video all the way through. Because I've said this a billion times before. In June and July, these are two of my busiest work months. And so you'll probably notice I'm like not that online and touching a lot of grass at the same time. And so I just didn't pay attention to it. And with that said, is that like when I am in that, I guess, time frame as I am every single year, I kind of notice what people around me are saying, especially at work or like I'm around. And like literally no one was talking about this ad and no one was really talking about politics at all. And so my biggest thing is that I think that this was a drama created out of nothing. So I think it became bigger than it needed to be. But with that said, to see a lot of the Trump people freak out about it, I am like, okay. So like my thing is that I have so much Trump fatigue that like I don't care anymore. That like I just want Trump to be out of our politics so we start winning again and actually focus on policy and actually focus on things that matter, like winning elections, because losing elections do have consequences. And so again, I was just kind of like, the reaction to it just seemed very online to me, and then that created a bigger drama. Like
you're right. That's
news segment on this very online drama.
Okay, so but that's kind of how it happens, right? So I agree. This does not reflect real life, but what concerns me is that it happened in Twitter world and happened online and the very online people noticed it, but it was an unforced error. It was a self-inflicted wound, right? And we're going to get into the fact that I really think we don't have a candidate problem. The video itself was very jump cutty. It was Trump celebrating Pride Month, talking about how he's most pro LGBTQ plus president ever. Now, putting aside your thoughts on that, because I have strong opinions on that, a lot that I agree with probably what the premise of the ad was. However, it was, I think I said this, it was childish. It didn't, the video itself was something that, you know, if you worked for Andrew Tate, you'd produce. Okay. It was like Trump and like overlays. What's that?
I think that's a fair criticism.
Yeah.
My thing is that like, again, like in June and July, I very much try to not be online as much as possible. Even though I am, like, I still see things, I still see the dramas that are happening, but I'm also like working a lot. And I just, in the real world, I just didn't see anybody talking about that.
No, that I'm with you.
But hear anybody talking about this. And then then I see it on Fox News and I see Caitlyn Jenner being hardcore about it. And that was off-putting to me. Like and the thing is like, Jeff, like I have always been very pro-gay marriage within the GOP because I consider the institution of marriage to be a very conservative institution. And like, we want people to get married rather than, I don't know, I'm not going to say living in sin with your partner, but like, we want people to get married. That's a conservative institution. It's a traditional institution. And outside of the GOP, the gay marriage within the GOP thing, I've always been supportive of gay couples being able to adopt children. And so I just thought that but within that scope, I'm very anti a lot of woke nonsense in supportive of what I guess I see out of articles that are going into like school libraries and stuff like that. I don't support that, and I support removing that stuff from libraries, because kids should not be like, we don't want that sexual stuff to be introduced to our kids. Like, they're kids. Let them be kids.
This is a very, your opinion is where most people are, where normal people are, the normals are.
Right.
Okay. So
yeah.
So it's, but it's a serious issue. Here's where I want to take, and I get you're right. It is a very online thing. Then it bleeds up. But my concern is that they are making this mistake this early, and not getting that everything you put out is not only under a microscope. And I don't care about like
true.
the main.
That is very true.
But I don't care about the mainstream media spin on this. That's not what I'm talking about. If they spin it, they spin it. Then you can fight back about what the real thing is. I watch that video and I go, this is fucking clownish. This is clownish. Putting Ron DeSantis with those digital sunglasses over his face like he's dunking on it. Oh, like it's a fucking meme. I want him to be the president of the United States. I don't want him to be an influencer. Okay? So producing that ad, putting campaign money behind it or PAC money behind it, whatever. I'm not sure the background of the DeSantis War Room, but regardless, it's funded. Does not give me
confidence. The War Room is funded by the campaign, because the campaign and the PAC can't really coordinate it. They have to be very careful with each other. So my big thing on this is that I agree with you. Like I want Ron DeSantis to be the front and center of this campaign. Put him out in front and have him talk about policy. But you also need to realize that he is going to have to differentiate himself from Trump. He can't be Trump Jr. And so he needs to get on stage. He needs to straightforwardly say that the 2020 election wasn't stolen, and that we need to consolidate in order to beat Biden going into 2024. I'm not hearing that from Trump. What I'm hearing is him saying that ballot harvesting doesn't really need to be done, which is not true at all. We really do need to match that. And Ron DeSantis had that campaign arm in Florida, and it worked. He listens to people like Mike Lindell, which is freaking stupid. And I need Ron DeSantis to differentiate himself from Trump in a bigger way. When you go into New Hampshire, especially, because you and I live up here, okay?
No, the media ads, the ad buys are going to happen in the Boston. Sorry, the ad.
The ad buys will happen in the Boston area, okay? I will be seeing Ron DeSantis ads in Gloucester, in Newburyport, in New Hampshire. You have to buy in Boston in order for it to go into southern New Hampshire. He needs to start going into New Hampshire, much like Chris Christie is, and telling it how it is. Because if you want to get those swing voters in New Hampshire, you need to straightforwardly say, this is bullshit. Trump wasn't able to, take on the quote unquote deep state. He wasn't able to do anything except fire people who worked for him and then talk about him. And then he spread lies about the 2020 election. He needs to be very straightforward about these facts in order to differentiate himself. I don't want Trump light. I want Ron DeSantis.
And you're right. And I'm going to get into a couple other videos that I'm going to put up in a second. That needs to be it. Be serious. Don't try to be cool. Don't try to I don't know, to be something that he's not. Okay? Stop trying.
I don't want cool. Like, the thing is that
I want serious. And that's what most people want. Right. They're done. They're over. They get it. Stop.
The fatigue of this is very real for me. So the Trump fatigue that I have with him constantly reaching out to influencers and all this other stuff and all of that, it is very boring for me. When I see him and all of his influencers online, it's just cringe to me at this point. Like, this is cringy, and it's not cool. It's not fun. It's not pervasive. It just makes me think that you all are unserious. Like, when I see FEC reports and I see that Trump only pulled in 35 million, and a lot of that came from drama money, like that. I'm not coming around on Donald Trump for a very long time. And it's probably going to be never going forward. I am tired of this. I want to move forward as a national party, and move on to what's next. I don't want to be clinging to what happened in the past, because if we do that, we lose.
And that's a good point. So, that's going to be the one that I'm going to point something out a little different on one of the videos coming up. Just to wrap up this part, and then I'll go to what I want to play next. RFK Jr. has caught fire in certain sections of the right, not because he's cool, not because he's a Kennedy, but because he's found the little wormhole of, vaccine deniers and, big pharma and all that nonsense with the libertarian people who don't understand what he actually stands for. But but still the topics and the issues are serious. But whether you agree or disagree with his position on it, that's one thing. But he's treating it seriously, taking it soberly, speaking about it earnestly. He's wrong on a whole host of things, including everything that people are admiring him for. But he's still doing it in a way that people go, huh. And now he's at 27% or something like that in the polls against Biden. Now, too many people on the right are admiring RFK Jr. But the the mindset that produced the ad from 9 days ago that was put out needs to be completely shifted, and you need to look at what was taking place there.
So my final point on this is that polling shows that the American public do not want a rematch of Biden versus Trump in 2024. But with that said, in 2016, it was Hillary versus Trump, and they both had low unfavorables, but they thought of Trump as the lesser evil over Hillary. And Indies really supported that, and especially supported that in swing states, especially within Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Okay. But he was the lesser evil. Trump doesn't have that benefit anymore. They do not think that he is the lesser evil. They think that Biden is the lesser evil. That does not mean that I don't think that Biden is corrupt as hell. He obviously is. Okay. I have hated Biden forever because I think that the facade of him being a decent man was always a lie, and I could see through it. But at the same time, I'm not the same as everyone in America when they're going to cast a vote. And this is post January 6th Donald Trump that we're talking about. Yeah. They think that Biden is not as bad as Trump because of these type of things that he has been spreading and doing. Okay. I want Ron DeSantis to differentiate himself from Donald Trump fast and start openly criticizing him and put your candidate out in the front of your campaign. I do like that Casey DeSantis is taking a good role on it, because I think that a lot of suburban moms get pushed to the wayside and get, stereotyped and all of that.
No, I'm going to play her. I'm going to play her.
I want Ron DeSantis. I don't want Trump light. I need Ron DeSantis, because we saw that in Florida this time around, and he led that campaign, and he was the full force face of it.
So I'm going to play Casey DeSantis' video last. But all right, so let me say this. This is from let me pause it. This is from Never Back Down, which I think is the PAC, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So I tweeted about this. I'll just a little context here. Here's my thoughts on it. Campaigns are not allowed to. We do not have a candidate problem. No more corny videos, outfits, or gimmicks. Don't try to be funny. Don't try to be cool. Get serious. And I think I CC'd you on this. So let's go to the Never Back Down video.
I know throughout our history, generations of Americans have sacrificed so that we could live in a free society. And I'm reminded of President Reagan saying freedom is only one generation away from extinction. It's not passed along in the bloodstream. I used to think that was an exaggeration. Having lived through the last 4 or 5 years, I'll tell you, freedom is fragile in this country. Do not take freedom for granted. And when freedom comes under attack, it's our responsibility to stand up and fight for it. Our founding fathers understood this. When they met in Philadelphia to create the Constitution, they had studied the history of every republic and the history of mankind because they wanted to draw lessons about what they needed to do. And the one lesson they drew from all those republics throughout history was this: every one of them had failed. And so they understood it fell to the United States of America to determine once and for all, can people really govern themselves? Can we have a society based on the idea that our rights come from God, not from the government? That we live under a rule of law, not the rule of individual men? Or was mankind forever destined to live under various forms of despotism? And they understood that it would fall to this country to answer that question once and for all. And when Benjamin Franklin walked out of that convention, he was actually asked, would you give us a monarchy or a republic? He said a republic if you can keep it. If you can keep it. Because he understood this is not something that's foreordained. We'll have a free society as long as enough people want to fight for a free society.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the actual candidate.
That's an amazing video. Like, the thing is that, like, he says the things that I want to hear. So put him out in front. I don't want to see nonsense and garbage. I want to see him saying things like that have vision and that talk about moving our country forward. So we're still in a post-pandemic state where Biden was literally saved on the economy by the Fed and a literal Republican that leads it, where he caused inflation that caused us strife. But we couldn't capitalize on that in 2022 because we had Trump candidates who were literally, obsessed with him on the trail, spewing his election lies garbage. And I want to hear from Ron DeSantis. I want to hear from him. I don't want to hear about him being Trump light. I want to be hearing from him. I want him to differentiate, because those type of videos, that's inspiring. Like, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to see. I want to be inspired to go out and vote for him. So when I think about being that person that stands on election day holding a sign, I'm the volunteer that does that, by the way. I'm that person. Okay?
I'll be canvassing in the primary, and
I'm not a higher up Republican strategist. I'm the person who volunteers to hold the sign. Okay. And I want to hold a sign for people that I'm proud to vote for and support. And I'm not doing that for Trump. I want to do that for Ron DeSantis because I want him to get there and I want him to win the nomination.
Same. Ditto. Now I'm going to queue up the third video. This one I have, well, let's just play it. Let me just play this for everybody. Okay. I might cut it off midway, but we'll see.
Okay.
In America, we've witnessed a lot and put up with enough.
You guys gotta go. Let's go.
He is arresting her for being on a public playground. Her kids are here. What are we?
We've been forced into silence. Into compliance. Told that we must trust the science.
Indoor and outdoor venues should be closed.
We've been told that we must deny truth, back down, and look the other way. But enough is enough. When you come after our kids, we fight back. Because there's nothing we won't do to protect our children. They're not yours.
These are our kids.
Our nation's children are all our children.
We will not allow you to exploit their innocence to advance your agenda. We are no longer silent. We are united. And we have finally found our fighter.
We're not going to let you impose an agenda on our kids. We're going to stand up for our kids.
He'll do for America what he did for us in Florida. Schools open. Parents' rights defended. School choice universal. Critical race theory prohibited. DEI stopped. Child mutilation illegal. Girls' sports saved. Communities protected. Our economy growing. And freedom guaranteed. But winning the fight in Florida is just the beginning. We must protect parents' rights and the innocence of our children. We must restore sanity in our society. We need every mama and every grandmama in every corner of the country to stand up and fight back by electing Ron DeSantis President of the United States of America. Join us by texting MAMAS to 512345.
Okay. I have thoughts. My first thought is this. This ad, because I'll preface everything I say, I know this ad was not meant for me. Okay, so this ad was meant for the mamas and the grandmamas. And I'll start with that. So I agree with everything in it. But there's like two major things. But Caitlin, I'm gonna what were your thoughts on that? Was, by the way, I know I showed on screen. It was from another
I think
quote tweeting, but it was directly from
for
Casey DeSantis' account.
Okay. I think that mamas just for DeSantis need to start putting out a wide range of ads. Like the really aggressive ones are fine, but I also think that you need to inspire to get people out to come out and join your movement. And so that might work in Florida. It could work all over the South. I think that nationwide, you need to be a little bit more inspiring in order to get people to join your movement. I like Casey DeSantis. I think that people criticizing her usually are a little bit crazy.
Oh yeah, no, she's great. That's not, yeah.
Yeah, I just think that, again, you need to be more inspiring in order for, instead of not going totally aggressive.
So, yeah. This was weird to me. Like, even though the ad's not meant for me, I still see it, right? So, you know, I'm not a mama or a grandmama. But, you know, I'm pretty much the target audience as from a male perspective of who you want to flip in the primary. One, I really hope it was a different announcer and I don't insult Casey DeSantis, but the woman in the ad with the voiceover was like yelling at me.
Yeah.
And I look at that and I'm like, that like immediately goes like, okay, stop yelling at me. Stop yelling at me right now. Like, I agree with you. Stop yelling. You know, it's like, it's just a reaction. Two, the first huge chunk of it was all COVID stuff. And I get it. I agree. The masks were stupid. The shutdowns were dumb. Fauci's an idiot. Like,
but I think
I'm
also,
there, but like this is
everyone agrees with that now. Even liberals can kind of agree how stupid all of that was. I think that you really need to focus on protecting kids and making sure kids can be kids. And I think your messaging should be that we're protecting children and their youth instead of making them grow up fast with all of this crazy sexualized stuff on the internet. And even within like schools with books and stuff that are not age appropriate for kids. I think that you need to focus on you're the mama bear in that situation, protecting children's youth.
And that's present. That's happening now. Like COVID, I agree with you, but it happened. The thrust of it was 2 years ago. We're July of 2023, and you're leading the ad with masks and shutdowns. I mean, like, if it comes back around again, sure, fight hard. Mention it in speeches, but leading with it, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I'm gonna, like, people are past it. They agree. They understand. They're with you. But what is going on? The clip where we are coming for your children. Like, I don't think they're kidding around. Like there are like they're groomers. They're groomers. They want to indoctrinate. They want to take, they want to indoctrinate. They want to capture your kid, their mindset, They want to teach them that they can be any gender they want. It's isolated in the schools. It's focused in the schools. Like, that's real. It's happening now. It's everywhere. Everywhere. That's the leading story for the mama bears. Okay? And you're gonna start seeing it more of the men, biological males in female sports. It's not going away. It's gonna continue to happen. It's a fight in the present. I'm okay with fighting that culture war because it's part of school curriculums now. It's part of school sports. Yes, I want to hear from elected leaders that are doing it. Now, again, okay, this ad wasn't meant for me, but still, I'd be curious to see other conservative or either center-right mothers and grandmothers watch that, and like when you start to break it down, what do they think about it? Because this is kind of like the first video that, well, we didn't see it because they took it down. It's like these are unforced errors. What are you leading with? Who's thinking about this? Who's producing it? Who's driving it? Now, if this is coming from Ron DeSantis himself and he's writing the video and the production copy, I don't think he is. Okay, well, please take this as constructive criticism. If it's not, it's coming from campaign staff. You need to fix this or get rid of the people who are making it. There is a limited amount of time. We are, 2024 is 5 months away. You got to raise money. You got to execute flawlessly.
Politics, and probably late August, you need to start pushing some of this more inspiring rhetoric. You need to differentiate yourself. The candidate needs to differentiate himself from Donald Trump, and maybe does a live town hall in New Hampshire and start pushing poll numbers. I think that doing these live town halls in like Iowa and taking their questions and answering them along, it does help. It helps us know the candidate. I think the rhetoric again needs to be more inspiring, and we need a path forward. And I'm not seeing that out of any other campaign. I do think that maybe Tim Scott is a little bit more inspiring. But I also am biased because I do like Tim Scott. I'm not seeing it out of the Haley campaign. I'm not seeing that out of the Chris Christie campaign. Vivek is annoying.
He sucks so bad.
I might donate to Don Burgum so he can get on the debate stage. And I probably will donate to Chris Christie to make sure he gets on the debate stage, because I do want to see him go after Trump. But also with Chris Christie, he distracts himself with Ron DeSantis, and essentially he's doing Trump's bidding for him. So I want to see more inspiring stuff out of Ron DeSantis. What I do like seeing is that he's campaigning in New Hampshire and he's getting caught in the rain with his kids. And that stuff is like very cute to me. Whereas the online people are like kind of dunking on that. And I'm like, you all don't know New Hampshire if you think that would hurt him there.
No, that's real. That's real. He still looks good. He's still young, vibrant. It's water. Who cares? Whereas Biden...
Him and Casey are playing around with their kids in the rain as they're in a 4th of July parade. That is like so New England. Like, I don't know how people can really dunk on that. It was a really cute moment to see. It was very real. But again, I do want to see more of the inspiring stuff, because I think that Ron DeSantis is the one that can probably move forward and face Trump in a more real way than even Chris Christie, to be quite honest. Because again, Chris Christie shits on Trump and then compliments him. So
no, he can't be trusted on that. Well, look, folks, we're going to wrap up our constructive criticism of fixing these types of, in my opinion, unforced errors for the campaign. I follow many people on the campaign. Feel free to DM if you want to. And I mean, we're critics, but we want RDS to win. And these types of things need to have the temperature check of what the audience is, who it's geared towards, and what the wider view of it will be, because he's the best candidate in the race. All right. Moving on to our final topic, Boston City Councilor Kendra Lara got into a car accident this week where she crashed into the fence of a house. So it wasn't like a car. It wasn't auto to auto. Unfortunately, I think her son was not riding in a proper booster seat, who was 7 years old. I think he's okay, which is good. I'm glad he's that's sincerely.
I didn't know part of the story.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The son was there?
Yeah, she's driving on a suspended license. Caitlin, I don't even know how you get a suspended license. Do you not renew your license? I suppose that's part of it. Do you drive so poorly that the government suspends your license? That's probably getting to so many accidents that you shouldn't be allowed to drive. This is, and then coming out with such a weak statement from, let me see. Let me go back to her account here. Boston City Councilor. So I'm gonna read this on screen for everybody here. Put it up here, and here we go. Kendra Lara. On June 30th, Zaire and I were involved in a car accident on Center Street in Jamaica Plain while driving a friend's car. Okay, why are you you're a Boston City Councilor? You don't have your own car? All right. I'm grateful for my family, friends, and neighbors who have been by our side and provided the support Zaire and I needed to focus on our recovery. Okay, that's nice. We are all accountable for our actions, are we? And I am no different, which is why I am offering my sincerest apologies to everyone, especially the people of District 6. And as an elected official, I've worked hard to center dignity and humanity to center the dignity and humanity of my constituents. Today, I ask you to also see mine as I work to correct my mistake. As your city councilor, I will continue to steward our collective vision at City Hall and work hard to earn and maintain your trust. The grace you've shown me is a testament to the strength of our beloved community, and I intend to continue earning it. Thank you. A good politician bullshit spin. I just, the Ricardo Arroyo was involved in a scandal. DA Rachel Rollins, who was U.S. attorney, had to resign because of her scandals. Look, this happens all over the country, where local politicians just think they can get away with everything. And it baffles my mind, Caitlin, because I'm pretty normal. I pay my taxes. I don't break the law. I get my licenses renewed. I do what I'm supposed to do that everybody else around the country normally does. And these fucking politicians think they're special. They think they can get away with it. They think the rules don't apply to them. And it is infuriating. And then you have the local media deflecting, covering up, ignoring, or brushing over what happened. And that's the thing about it. Like it's like you watch the local news, they read that statement verbatim, and they don't talk about how long she's had her license suspended for. Which, according to Turtle Boy, hello, Aiden, if you're watching, let's see here. Aiden on the screen, we looked into Kendra Lara's driving record. Her license has been suspended since 2012. She posts about driving regularly. She needs to resign immediately. She's a common criminal. I mean, yeah, common criminals drive around with their license suspended. Now, I hopefully he's accurate on that, but it's been 11 years. You're driving on a suspended license. Like, fuck you. That's my answer. That is spitting in the face of everybody who goes out and pays their taxes, shovels their sidewalk, pays all the fees, the excise taxes, and you go around and you go talk about equity and diversity and enablement, and it's all bullshit. You're grifting. You're grifting on the taxpayer's dime. You think you're special. And I'm telling you, like, I know the media ignores this, and a lot of the people in the media watch this show. chickens are going to come home to roost, man. People are going to get sick of it. There's a reason why CNN has layoffs. There's the reason why Globe, nobody reads it anymore. There's a reason why Tucker Carlson came to Twitter instead of going to some other network. Your days are done. And if each state party can put it together and start to actually win some elections, we can start to get some normalcy back in our lives here in Massachusetts. So that one pisses me off the most for this show. It's just like the audacity that these politicians have, that they think they can just flout the law. Anyway, anything else, Caitlin?
No, nothing else, Jeff.
All right.
We've had an action-packed new episode.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a busy spring and summer.
It's been great, even with the rain. Even with the rain. All right.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Go enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your summer. Embrace the heat. Yes, it's the hottest it's ever been in the history of the world. Do you know what the history of the world as far as tracking the temperatures is? About 150 years. The Earth is 4 billion years old.
The
Like,
metric thing for this one was like 1979.
It'll be fine. If you want to cut down on pollution and mitigate climate change, go nuclear power. That's it. If you're not talking about that, you're unserious.
Yes, I am very pro nuclear power. Very much not pro getting rid of gas pipelines because it's the most economical and environmentally sound way to move gas and oil.
And one third
diesel trucks.
Yeah, 1/3 is polluting is oil. Way less polluting than coal. Give me a break. Anyway, enjoy the heat.
Exactly.
Go jump in a pool, go to the beach, relax, have a beer. Oh, I gotta tell you, Caitlin, I almost broke. I like Budweiser. I like the taste of Budweiser.
Oh my God. Are you alone in that?
No, millions upon millions of people like the taste. It was, I never liked Bud Light as much. I was different, but I like Bud Heavy. And it's like the quarter pounder with cheese of beer. It's not great, but it's good. And on a hot summer day, it's very refreshing. And I wanted to buy one, and I almost broke. And I almost broke and bought some, but instead I bought some Yingling, which I'll be honest is not.
Yingling is good.
It's not as good. It's not as good for what you want it to be. So I won't say I'm going to break and I'm going to crack on the Bud Light boycott or the Budweiser boycott. But
the men in my family really like Rolling Rock. There's always been like a 6-pack Rolling Rock in the refrigerator.
All right, maybe I'm going to the store later to get some beer. All right, I'll tell you what the best summer beer is. By far, hands down, Sam Adams Porch Rocker.
Really?
Oh, it's so good. It's
so whenever
good.
I make bread, I always make sure I make it with a Sam Adams.
No, it's delicious. In fact, it's so good, and they have it for such a limited time. Like by mid-July, they stop selling it and they start putting in Oktoberfest, which is just too soon. It's too soon. And I get the supply chain of beer, but after Labor Day, you can sell me the Oktoberfest.
I know
that
the Oktoberfest thing is kind of like when you go into a store and you see like Halloween stuff in mid-July. It's like that, but the beer world.
Oh, okay. My last plug on beer. In another life, I used to do finance for Sam Adams Beer. And this is 20 years ago. And when I worked there, they launched a beer. They launched Sam Adams Light. And it was a bit of a turn because they said, oh, never a light beer and whatever. Who cares? That Sam Adams Light beer was fucking delicious. It was so, so good. And we went to the launch party and it was awesome. It was really a phenomenal. I would bring home, you get free cases when you work at a beer company. So I would get like Sam Adams Light. They need to bring that back. Sam Adams Light beer, to take the market share of Bud Light, I would buy that all the time. It was a fantastic beer. And it hasn't been around for probably 15 years. They got rid of it, but maybe there's an opportunity there. Okay. That's it for the Rhino podcast. Head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/rhinopod. Only $1 a month, you cheap bastards. So go over there and sign up today for extra content. We appreciate the support from all our patrons, and we don't appreciate you watching this and not becoming a patron. I'm kidding. I love you. All right. Until next time, everybody, enjoy the summer. Go Red Sox. They're on a win streak.
Go Red Sox.
Bye-bye.
Bye.